Hi, I'm Shaking Gaming. You're watching my Ultimate Speed Guide. In Marvel Strike Force there's a lot of different mechanics that influences speed in the game, and speed is everything in this game. First of all, you can speed up your characters, which gives them 150% base speed. You can slow down opponents, giving them only 50% base speed. But on top of that, there's base speed increases to self, allies, or both. There's speed bar fill on spawn, speed bar on kill, speed bar when hit, speed bar on ally death, speed bar on enemy death, speed bar on skill use to self, allies, and finally speed bar rewind. I cannot go over all of them, and I'll primarily focus on what speed is and the first turn order of every battle, which is the most important in my opinion. To understand how speed works in the game, I've made this graph showing different characters' speed and when they reach a turn. The average character in the game has a speed of 102, so you need 1000 speed ticks to get a turn in the game, and with a speed of 102 that takes just about 10 repetitions. And as you can see, 10 repetitions gives 1000 speed, and the average character has a turn after 10 repetitions. Drax is the lowest speed character in the game with a speed of 66, and Black Widow has 155 as his base speed. And you can see compared to each other that when Black Widow reaches her third turn and you follow the repetitions back, Drax is not even halfway until his second turn yet. Just to show the difference speed up and slow does, I've taken the average character with a speed of 102 and applied speed and slow to them. And you can see slow, instead of being fairly in the middle, the slowed character becomes even slower than Drax, while with speed up, the average character gets nearly as fast as Black Widow. That's how speed works. The first notable character is Vulture. On spawn he gets 10% speed bar for free, and additionally 10% speed bar per city hero enemies. This makes him very fast at turn 1, and potentially very fast if he goes up against city heroes. On enemy death he also changes his speed bar by 25%. Star-Lord increases Guardian allies' speed by 20%. This is from spawn, so it will work all the time. The exception here is that it doesn't affect Star-Lord himself, it only says Guardian allies. Shuri applies speed up to self and all Wakandan allies on spawn. Ronan can potentially change speed bar of his Kree allies. Whenever they get energy, they get 20% speed bar, which is quite a lot. In theory this sounds very good, but the energy flow on the Kree team isn't very consistent, so it's not really that good, but in theory this is a very good passive. Nick Fury, just like Shuri, he applies speed up on spawn to his allies, his shield minion allies. On top of that, he has 50% chance to grant speed up to self and shield minion allies every turn. And if he's got speed up and he uses his rally special skill, he applies all positive effect that he currently have to all allies. This means he can spread the speed up to whatever ally he has, not just shield minion allies. Mercenary Lieutenant is the only character on the list that's not that's a minion. His special applies offense up to all allies for 1 turn and speed up to all allies for 1 turn. He is the only one that does this, both speed and offense up to all allies, not restricted to any trade or team synergy. Magneto is also on the list. He doesn't give speed or speed bar directly to his team, but his passive makes him the absolutely fastest character in the game, on turn 1 at least. On himself, he gets 15 speed bar on spawn, so instead of needing 1000 ticks, he only need 850. But on top of that, he gets 15% per Brotherhood ally. And this makes him on a full Brotherhood team, well, he only needs 3 Brotherhood allies to still be the fastest character in the game on turn 1. Loki is another very fast character with an on-spawn speed bar gain. He gains 15% speed bar on spawn, but on top of that, Mystic controllers on his team also gain 10% speed bar. Falcon's special ability, Red Wing, changes speed bar for himself and all allies by 30%. But on top of that, you get 10% for every enemy that has a positive effect. So if you got an entire team, 5 enemies, all with a positive effect, you get 80% speed bar on your entire team. And this goes past 1000. So whatever goes past 1000 just makes your next turn even faster. Daredevil applies speed 10% to self and defender allies. Not other city hero allies sadly, but only defender allies, meaning Iron Fist, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. The description says this is applied after any character has taken an action. This is not entirely true. Every test I've seen, this applies at spawn. Just to reference my speed guide, Star-Lord's speed is 120. Daredevil's base speed is 119. Star-Lord's passive does not apply to himself. Daredevil's does, but according to description, this shouldn't work until after a character has taken an action. The fastest character should be Star-Lord. On this screenshot, no character has any on-spawn ability. Star-Lord is just about to take his turn, but he's not there yet. Daredevil goes first. This showing that Daredevil's passive work from spawn, not from first character has taken an action. Cable fills the speed bar of himself and all allies by 5% on spawn. On top of that, he fills Deadpool's and his own speed bar by 70% on kill. Black Widow has the fastest base speed in the game after upgrading her passive to level 5. Her base speed without the passive is 135, but with a maxed passive she gets 155, making her the fastest base speed character in the game. The wording is the same as on Deadpool's description. This is applied after any character has taken an action, but it definitely doesn't work the same way as Daredevil's passive does. Base speed wise, Black Widow should be the fastest. Vulture has only got a base speed of 127, but his passive, as I said before, makes him faster on turn 1, actually 141, so he should be a lot faster than Black Widow without her passive, but a lot slower if with her passive. Vulture's passive is an on-spawn ability, meaning that from start of the match it should apply Black Widow's passive, because on-spawn abilities are actions and thus it should trigger Black Widow's passive. But if we look at the screenshot here, you can see that Vulture goes before Black Widow on turn 1 with the same slow characters as shown before. No on-spawn abilities except Vulture's here. But Black Widow hasn't taken her turn yet. Next proof. Here we got Drax that taunts from spawn, but Vulture still goes first. On this screenshot, Black Widow's passive is actually level 5, so she should have 155 speed, making her faster than most of the enemy team. The only ones that should have gone before her is Medic, but as you can see, Nick Fury and Trooper went before Black Widow. She hasn't taken her first turn yet. But just to show that it actually works, just not on her on-spawn abilities, but on actual cast abilities, this is a match with Magneto and 4 Brotherhood allies, making him very, very fast. And he should just slightly make it possible for Black Widow to be before Vulture when she has her passive at level 5, and when Magneto is on the other team with 4 Brotherhood allies. This just slightly makes her faster on turn 1 than Vulture. So the ability work, but the description is wrong. It's not an action, it's after a character's actual turn. I've made this speed guide infographic with every current character in the game. On the left hand side there's base speed for every character, and on the right side there's the first turn order with the right synergies. There's an asterisk showing which characters often have speed up, are faster with synergy, or get speed bar filled with synergy or skill. If we look down in the bottom, there's a list of which abilities have been taken into consideration. I have also made team speed guide showing all the speeds for each team, the base speed at top, and then the first turn speed, effective turn speed at the bottom. So you can go over these at your own time, and whenever you have a matchup with Brotherhood versus Power Armor with Vision. You can just reference check here and you have the turn order. This is for what I have called pure teams. The only non-pure team here really is the Power Armor one, but the other ones are pure in that sense. The next sheet is mixed teams. On the mixed teams sheet, I've taken the currently most used teams that are not pure and put down their base speed and their first turn order, so you can reference check whenever you have one of these compositions, either yourself or going up against one of them. There are 6 characters on all the teams, so you have to pick and choose which one is left out every time. But for the speeds to be correct, you cannot take out the red marked characters because they are defining for other characters on the team. Of course you can take them out, but then the speeds on the sheet are becoming wrong. That's it for my speed guide. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like or subscribe button. There wasn't time to go over every mechanic, but the most important stuff, at least for turn 1, has been covered. In the link description you can find the newest infographics, where I'll always keep them updated. Goodbye.